Let's add custom recipes to our fabric mod in 26.1. If you want to go deeper, the 26.x modding courses are linked down below. 30 plus hours covering complex block entities with fluid and energy handling, custom mobs, custom networking, and even custom biomes and dimensions. Everything you need for 26.x, all in one place, linked down below in the description. Alright, my friends, back and tell you once more, and in this tutorial we're going to be adding custom recipes, of course, via Datagen again. Because custom recipes are all JSON files, and to add those, well, we will need to use Datagen. I mean, once again, theoretically, you can make them on your own manually, but as soon as you get into like, I don't know, 10 recipes or something like that, it just doesn't make any sense. And also, there's the most amazing 2 lines, or let's call it like 3 lines that we can add, and just with those 3 lines, we will be able to add smeltable and like ore blasting sort of recipes for all 4 of our ores and the raw fluorite. It's going to be glorious. So in the Datagen package, we're going to create a new Java class called the mod recipe provider. And this will extend from the fabric recipe provider. So this is the fabric recipe provider over here. And we will hover over this to implement the get name and the create recipe provider method. And then hover over this again, create constructor matching super. And then what we want to do is in the name, we're just going to have tutorial mod recipes. That's fine. So basically here, we just want a name that is unique, and that's going to be fine. So just, you know, the name of our mod and then the recipes should be okay. In the create recipe provider, we're going to make a new recipe provider. And you can see this is an abstract class, so it's going to make an anonymous class in here. So we're going to pass into the recipe provider the registries as well as the output from the create recipe provider method right here. And then in the build recipes, that is where we can build our recipes. And here it gets super cool. We're going to start off with a list of item like, and this list is going to be the fluorite underscore smeltables. This is going to be equal to a list.of, and there's going to be mod items dot raw fluorite, and then mod blocks dot fluorite ore, and then we can like copy this a couple of times over here. I do want to format this slightly differently, something like this. This is going to be exactly right because this is the deep slate ore, and then we change this one to the nether ore, and we change this one to the end ore, and just like that, we have a list of 5 item likes which are all smeltable. And here you're gonna go crazy because within the build recipes method, we can actually call quite a few methods. So if we do this, you can see there are a lot of methods to be called. One of them, for example, is the ore smelting, which takes in as its first parameter a list of item like. So we pass in the fluorite smeltables. Then the recipe category of, let's say, miscellaneous. I mean, I think that's actually totally fine. Yeah, miscellaneous is okay. Then we're going to do a cooking book category of blocks. Then here, what is going to be the result of this smelting? Well, it is, of course, mod items that fluorite. The experience is going to be 0.25, cooking time is 200, and the group is going to be fluorite. And just like that, this line, and obviously the list over here, this line alone is going to generate 5 different JSON files. And then we just duplicate this. We change it to ore blasting and change the cooking time to 100 because usually the blasting furnace is double the speed of the smelting furnace or just a normal furnace, and that's it. Boom, done. Just like that, we've now made it so that you can smelt raw fluorite, the fluorite ore block, the fluorite deep slate ore block, the nether, and the end ore block all into fluorite with 3 lines. You know, I mean, because like this line break doesn't really count over here, so there you go. This is just so that you can read it a little bit better. So that's 3 lines. That's pretty good. But we continue because we can also use the 9-block storage recipe over here, passing in the recipe category of building blocks, then mod items dot fluorite, and then the recipe category of decorations for the fluorite block over here. So this is mod blocks dot fluorite block. I'm not 100% sure about the packed form. So this is like from unpacked form category. Wouldn't this be the other way around or something like that? I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sure which one should be going for which one. I mean, honestly, we can just take a look at where this is used, right? So middle mouse button click or control left click on this, and we can see, yeah, the first one is usually miscellaneous. The second one is building blocks. See, I knew that there was something off over here. And this is going to make the 9x9 crafting, or 9 by 9, I say the 3 by 3, which is 9 in total, crafting storage recipe. So I put 9 fluorides into the crafting table, I get a fluoride block out of it, and it's also going to generate the other one. But because there are sometimes some recipes where you want a shaped or a shapeless recipe, I also want to show you those. For those, you call the shaped or the shapeless recipe methods. So a shaped recipe, for example, with a miscellaneous category over here, let's say, for example, we want to get the modblocks.raw fluoride block over here. So we're going to make the same sort of storage recipes, just sort of in line, just because they have that you have seen the shaped and the shapeless recipe on how those are built. Here this is a builder, and we call the pattern over here with a string, and we do that 3 times. Now, if I were to, like fill this up like this, like this, like this, can you imagine what the pattern here might represent? Of course, this represents a 3 by 3 crafting table. So this is a crafting table. And yes, you can do it like this. Then it's going to only have 2 rows. And if you were to do it like this, then yes, it would also work in the inventory on the 2 by 2 crafting grid. So you can basically do this in whatever way you like, but there can only be 3 patterns, and you can only have a length of 3 for each of the different strings. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So if you had like, an additional R over here, it wouldn't work. But the question comes in, what is this R even? Well, for that, we use the define method. And for this, we use a character. Pay close attention, especially the people who did not listen to me and didn't do any Java. You can see that this is a string with 2 quotation marks, and this is a character with 1 quotation mark. If you don't know the difference, I highly suggest you do check out the Java introduction for Minecraft and Hightail modding. It is one of the best things that you can do if you want to continue with this properly. I'm basically just, another appeal over here. Highly recommend it. Now, this symbol R, we will now say is equal to the raw fluoride over here. We'll also call the unlocked by. You don't necessarily have to do this, but it's a good idea, because that is going to basically then say get has name, yeah, and we put in the raw fluoride again. So if we get raw fluoride into our inventory via the get has name and the has method, that means that this particular, no, this has to be raw fluoride, very important, then this particular recipe unlocks. All of those things are automatically added to the rest of these different things, but in this case, you do need to call this manually. You can also define the group over here. Once again, we're just going to say fluoride over here. I believe this is what it groups this by on the recipe book, if I recall correctly, although I've never really used the recipe book. I always have JI installed or something like that, so, but it's fair enough. And the final thing is we call the save method, passing in the output, and that's it. This is going to generate us our shaped recipe, and for a shapeless recipe, well, that is where we once again also give it a miscellaneous, then mod items.raw fluoride as the output, and we're going to get 9 out of this. Instead of a pattern, we say requires, and what does it require? Well, it requires a modblocks.raw fluoride block. So we put a fluoride block into any crafting grid, and we're going to get 9 raw fluoride out of it. Once again, a unlocked by over here. Theoretically, you could even say, hey, we're just going to copy these lines over, and then instead of the mod items raw fluoride, we just replace both of those with the mod blocks, and just like that, boom, 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 we have the shapeless recipe as well. All of those are, of course, also available to you down below. Now, a very important point that is also the case is if you have a recipe that, so basically the recipes are always called to what they're creating. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, we had an insane recipe where, I don't know, you put in like mod items dot, I don't know, fluoride over here, and then maybe items dot stick. Sure, why not, right? So we just do something like that, and then we just change this for the sake of argument over here. We don't necessarily need to, but that's fine. Point being, we have another recipe that also gets you raw fluoride. So we have a recipe that is going to get you the same thing that we have had before, right? So the idea is that it's going to also generate raw fluoride. The recipes are always, the names of the JSON files are always based upon what you get as a result. So we're going to see this clash in just a second. For the time being, though, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the mod data generators over here, right here, and we're going to say pack.add provider, and then mod recipe provider, : new. Easy enough. And just like that, the the recipes are added. So now let's run the Datagen, and you will see that it's actually going to throw us an error because there's going to be 2 JSON files named raw fluoride. You can see duplicate recipe raw fluoride, because by default, the name of the recipe of the JSON file is always going to be just the output. To basically deal with this, inside right here, you can give this an identifier from namespace and path with your tutorial mod .mod_id, and then the name right here. Is this not right? Does this want something else? Oh, just a string. Well, that's even easier than, I mean, there you go. So we just give it a string. Is this going to save this under Minecraft at that point? Well, we're just going to find out. If it does, then we have to do the very complicated route. But that's okay. So we can say raw fluoride from fluoride and stick, for example. Just, there's definitely describes this really well. Let's data generate this. And if it actually does create this under Minecraft, well, then we have to do a whole registry key, which would be kind of annoying, but that's okay. We don't need to do a whole registry key. Let's go. There we go. Raw fluoride from fluoride and stick. This is this recipe. So just be aware that if you have the same thing that you can craft in many different ways, then you want to basically add an ID string over here to the save method. But just like that, all of those methods all of the JSON files have been generated via this. So you can see this is the blasting over here. We got the smelting recipes. So all of those are now defined right here. And just like that, we've added quite a few recipes over here. So I would say, let's jump in the game and see if it works. All right, friends, back in Minecraft, and let's just take a look over here. If I take some raw fluoride, you can see that works totally fine. And if I get some of the ores over here, just for the sake of argument, let's just get a couple of them. Boom, that works. This one works. Oh my gosh, this is just amazing. There we go. We can also take the fluoride, get 9 fluoride out. Boom, boom, that all works. Boom, boom, that all works. And what even works is the crazy thing like this, which, I mean, it doesn't make any sense, but it does work. So that is pretty good. And yes, it also will work right here. If I switch to survival, this would have to be the normal fluoride. Boom, boom. There we go. Easy enough. And that is custom recipes added to Minecraft. Awesome. As always, all of the code is available to you down below, linked in the GitHub repository, but that's going to be it for this tutorial right here. I hope you found this useful and you learned something new, and I'll see you all in the next tutorial. Until then, so, yeah.